Happy Monday. Thank you for joining me for this week's Weekly Wisdom. Now, there's a chapter in my book, Unlocking the Magic of Leadership, and that chapter is in the section that focuses on galvanizing your employees. So this really deals with how do you create an environment that allows risk while also effectively holding your team accountable. So there's a lot of amazing tips and tricks that I've learned along the way that other leaders have shared to be able to do this effectively. And one of those areas that I'm getting a lot of questions about right now is around psychological safety. And so when we think about psychological safety, a lot of times as leaders, we're like, I got to deal with the things that I'm responsible for with the organization and making sure that we get stuff out on time and on spec and making sure that my team is doing what they're supposed to do. And now I have to worry about the safety of my team. Yes. And it's not just safety as what we've thought about for the beginning of time. It's also psychological safety is what's happening with the individuals on your team and how they're working together as a team. And so when we think about psychological safety, the Harvard Business Review defines it as a shared belief held by members of a team that it's okay to take risks, to express their ideas and concerns, to speak up with questions, and to admit mistakes, all without fear of negative consequences. And so what this means when we think about creating a team environment that is psychologically safe, it means that I can try new things. It means that if there's an employee on the team that I'm butting heads with, I can either have a conversation with that employee or we can go to our leader to help us navigate what that looks like. And so when we're thinking of psychological safety, it is not making everybody happy. Is creating a space where people know what is expected of them, feel valued, and feel like they are a part of something bigger. If you think about the best team that you've ever been on, so that could have been a work team, a sports team, whatever that looked like, the best team you've ever been on, chances are had psychological safety. If the team members weren't getting along, they could have conversations with each other. If somebody on the team messed up, the rest of the team rallied around them. And the individual that messed up wanted to find a solution, wanted to find a way to do better, but they didn't take it as they were a failure. It was a learning opportunity. And so as leaders, the responsibility and the rewards we have for creating spaces of psychological safety are innumerable. And so when you're thinking about what can you do to positively impact the psychological safety of your team, one of the first ways to do that is think about how does your team handle mistakes? How do you handle mistakes? If somebody on your team makes a mistake, are you going to immediately discipline? Or are you going to have a conversation and educate? If you make a mistake as the leader, are you going to tell your team or are you going to avoid the conversation at all costs? Are you creating space where your team can give you feedback? Are you actively asking them for feedback? All of these pieces help begin building the relationships and the trust and the ability to rely on each other. And as a leader, we role model this. So when we make a mistake, our employees are looking to us to see, okay, when they make a mistake, how do they respond in the future? If you admit your mistake, you're authentic, you're transparent, you apologize, you make amends, you do what you need to do to have the mistake, make the mistake, move past the mistake as a team, then they'll know that they can come to you. When they make a mistake, they can have a conversation about it. All right, so this is just a little bit of a dip of our toes into the world of psychological safety. This is something that we could talk forever about. Now that I'm thinking about it, it would probably make a good series to dive in for psychological safety. So if you like the idea of having a series all about psychological safety, make sure, give this video a like, make sure to hit subscribe. If you're seeing this in email, reply, let me know that you are all about it. Somehow, let me know that you are all about a series for psychological safety. Have an absolutely amazing week. And don't forget, as always, you got this. I'll see you next week.